Good morning. Welcome to Canvas Corner. I am hosting these mini trainings with bite-sized basics of Canvas just to support teachers who want to try out Canvas and learn the basics a little bit a week at a time. The purpose of this is so that in 9 weeks, you will hopefully have a course built and you will be on your way to using Canvas fourth quarter or next year, or at least having some sort of knowledge, basics of Canvas. So these are going to be very bite-sized trainings. Please talk to me in the chat. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them along the way. As always, this will be recorded and you can always find it on our South End Professional Learning YouTube channel. Also, I will share this presentation link in the chat. So that should be coming through. And I will also be putting it in the comments of the YouTube channel as soon as this is complete. So today we're just going to talk about where do I find things? What is the site navigation? How do I handle Canvas? How do I even get to Canvas? What are all these buttons I see? Where do we find stuff? So today's bite-sized basic is just site navigation. We're going to start with where to log in. Good morning, good morning. Where to log in? How do I get to Canvas? How do I find this? So you can log in either way. You can type in sbcsc.instructure.com, or you can find it in your waffle. So I will show both of these routes. The first is if I just go, there we go, my little waffle in the upper right-hand corner. And if I scroll, I will eventually find Canvas. Looks like this. Good morning. And it will log me in. It's going to ask you to choose your account. And you will always want to log in with Google. And then it'll take you to your Canvas page that will look like this. Yours may look a little different than mine. Everybody's looks a little different. Another route that I stated on this slide is that you can just type in sbcsc.instructure. I can't type this morning. Instructure.com. Make sure you include that SBCSC at the front of it, because then it takes you directly to ours, our South Bend specific one, and not just Canvas itself. And again, it's going to take me to my dashboard, which will look like this. Again, yours may look different. So either of those routes will get you to Canvas. If it's your first time going to Canvas, it may ask you to type in your information, but it should just be Google. You should just be able to click it. So if you want to split your screen and follow along with me, that's great. Or if you just want to watch, that is fine too. But you can enter Canvas in either of those options, either of those ways. So one thing about this slide deck when you get it, and I will put it in the chat again as people are logging on, and I wish it was clickable, but you're gonna have to copy paste it and it should take you to a slide deck. If you check back on this slide deck later, all of these little pins are interactive. So if you click on this pin, just like a little map, it'll take you to that. And if you click on me at any time, it'll take you back to the big map. So we're gonna go over today these 4 pins on here to get to know Canvas a little better. The first is this left toolbar. And I know this looks like a lot. I'm just gonna kind of go through it on here. Mr. Appleby, to switch your screen or to split your screen, see this little green dot in the upper left-hand corner? You're gonna hold that down and then it will split your screen. It won't let me right now because I am, oh, there it did. It let me. I wonder if I can do this. Oh, well, that just opened it for me. If I split my screen, if I pull this down and I It's not gonna like me today. Split my screen, maybe. If you hold down that little green button, it will split your screen for you, but it's not gonna let me because I am sharing my screen. So, okay, we're back here. And I'm gonna go to Canvas to get back to where I was. But Mr. Appleby, if you hold down that green button, it will split screen for you. You just gotta hold it down like that. And then you can see that it like will let me drag it to one side or the other. There we go, that's what I wanted it to do. And then it lets you choose. So for example, now we can see both, right? You can see the PowerPoint and you can see Canvas. And in the middle, you can drag it if you want one side to be bigger than the other. So I will tell you, side note, that when you split your screen, if you want to close it again, so if I want to have everything be one screen again, I have to click on that little Chrome button down here to get it back. That was a lot of work. I'm still learning how to split a screen, so hopefully I didn't confuse you too much. But hold down that green button and that'll help you split your screen. So we're going to talk about this left sidebar on Canvas, this part right over here. The top is just a picture of the South Bend logo. You know that you're in the right spot if you see that logo. The next is your account. And if you click on that, you're going to be able to edit your picture by clicking on the picture. Logging out, you can change your notification settings, files, other settings. Settings is where you will be able to change your picture and things like that. Shared content, QR code, global announcements. Really, there's not much here that you'll need right away, but just it's there to explore. You guys will not see this admin button. It's just me. There's just it allows me to see all of South Bend stuff. So dashboard is your homepage. It brings you right back to here. And again, all of this information is also on the slide deck. So the dashboard takes you to all of your courses and your to-do list. Courses will take you to a list of your courses if you like it this way instead of with all the pictures. One thing that is really cool, and it's going to be a bonus, is if you click on all courses, you're going to get a list of everything that you've ever been enrolled in. So all those courses that you've enrolled in on catalog before, they're going to be here. And so you may look at your dashboard and be like, none of my classes are here. What is happening? If you click on that, if you click on all courses and come to this page and you star the ones that you want to see, as you can see, I only have a couple starred because I don't want to see these all the time. Only your stars are going to show up on your dashboard. So I can just click the stars on and off, which allows me to see all these start of school ones that we did in August. Like I don't want to see those anymore, but I can still access them. I just don't want them on my home page. Look at all those. Whew. So I just star the ones I want. And those starred ones are right here for me. It does not mean I lose access to anything. It just simply means I don't see it when I log in right away. So as you can see, I just keep roughly 6 starred. Groups we're going to learn about later. It's not necessary right now at the beginning. Calendar takes you directly to your Google Calendar. Like it'll literally match if it loads. So you can see it is just your Google Calendar inside of Canvas for you. The positive to this is when you add assignments and things like that into Canvas, it will show up on here when things are due. Your inbox is where you can directly chat with students, just like another form of email. If students struggle with email, all of those inboxes will be in here. It will also notify them. So I'm a student in Mrs. Simone's anatomy class. So she sent out a message to everybody who did not turn in their wound pre-lab. And so just to remind them, so they'll get that notification then. Just another way to communicate with students. History shows you where you've been last, which is kind of nice in case you forget where you've been in the recent. Commons is really cool. Commons is a place you can find lessons and activities to implement quickly. So Commons is fun. And there's another whole session later on in the 9 weeks regarding Commons, because it's like a whole thing in itself. But I'll show you briefly. So all of these, if I want to teach, I'm going to say multiplying fractions just because I remember looking that up the other day. Multiplying fractions, right? That's something that I need to teach, but I don't have anything right now. There's a bunch of different things. There's quizzes, there's whole modules, there's assignments, etc. So let's say I really want to just check out this 6th grade quiz. I can click on it. I can preview everything so I can see what that quiz looks like. Yep, this looks great. Side note, I'm an English teacher, so I have no idea if these questions are correct or if this quiz is good, but I think it looks great on my end. So I can import it directly into my course. So if I want this to go into, I don't know, let's say I have an actual course in here, but if I want it to go into, I'm going to choose Brad Sandbox, but I want it to go into something, I can click on it, check mark it, and import it into the course. So then when I go into that course, I'm actually going to choose Riley Sandbox so that I can look at it later. It will import, and then when we go to Riley Sandbox later, you can see that the quiz will just be there ready to go. Students could take it immediately. So this is really great. I used this a lot when I moved from 9th and 10th grade English to 11th grade English because I didn't really know the history, technically background of the novels that I was teaching. So I used Canvas Commons to learn, like, how do I teach the amendment or like the amendments, or how do I teach the Bill of Rights? First of all, teach me the Bill of Rights. Then let me teach them to my students. And how can I make it interactive and collaborative and all of those? So I used Commons all the time. Next on the left-hand side is the catalog. We all know the catalog. It's where we find all of our courses. So that button is always there for you to take you directly to our catalog. And then you can log out using this little arrow. But the help button is really great. This little panda, oh no, where is he? Oh, there he is. This little panda, he's the best. There is resources listed here, the hotline, you can chat with people. Their support side of Canvas is fantastic. They will text you, well, they'll like chat with you. They're pretty quick about getting back to you if you have to submit a ticket. They have COVID-19. There's also this welcome tour. So if you want to move ahead, or you're sick of hearing my voice, this welcome tour will kind of click you around to learn the same stuff. The best part, I think, is the Canvas guides, searching these Canvas guides. Canvas community is fantastic. They are a great group of teachers, administrators, Canvas gurus who share anything and everything they can think of. So when you click on that, you're automatically going to want to go to Canvas, more than likely. And then you can see all of these different guides, getting started guides, instructor guides, Canvas basics. There's even stuff for parents and observers and students. So, you know, it's kind of hard to teach our kids a new learning management system being virtual, right? So these student guides, you can click on it and it has all of this. So an introduction, it can show students the basics of how to navigate Canvas, where to find things, how to use a module, how to use a quiz, all these different kind of things. So these student guides are here and they're super beneficial if you want to teach students how to use Canvas, if this is the route that you choose to change to, whether it be fourth quarter or next August. I lost my mouse. So that is the left side bar. I'm going to go back to my dashboard. Any questions on that left sidebar? Anything that you want to know more about? Again, everything is clickable in here, and everything is written again in here. I do have the star on the right-hand side to remind you that if you want to star your courses to make them easily seen, that awesome bonus is there as well. Awesome. So we're going to go back, and the next thing we're going to talk about is these top published courses. Sorry guys, I need coffee today. So published courses are courses that students can see, access, utilize, complete, etc. The courses that you have published are up here under published courses. Okay, these are the ones that students can see. Just to skip ahead a little bit, down here are unpublished courses. These are courses that nobody can see except for the teacher. And if you want it to be seen by a student, you have to click that publish button. Okay, students cannot see anything or access anything until you publish the course. Positive and negatives, right? If you forget to publish the course, you're going to have a bunch of students who are like, I can't see anything. It doesn't show up for me. First thing you want to do is make sure that it is published. Positive to this part of it is that you can work on it and develop as many courses as you want, and they don't see them until you're ready for them to see them. So that's a good thing as well. Another thing is that I don't have any because I don't have any classes in PowerSchool, but PowerSchool does automatically roster all of our courses. So you can see these little gray this gray words down here. If it says 1920 Adams High School, blah, 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 it's a really long, lots of words. That means it's rostered by PowerSchool. And that'll change every single night. So if you have students who switch classes mid-semester or within these first 2 weeks of the semester, it'll change your roster for you. Those are those courses that you have to make sure that you publish, whether you're playing in them and changing things, developing them. You have to publish them before students can see them, even if the start of the semester starts. So if you haven't published those courses and you have students who are like, I can't see it, and we're in the second day of the semester, it's just because you haven't published it. Just click that publish button. So now that I skipped ahead, back to the published courses, a few things that are on here. You can click on, let's do My Riley Sandbox. Every teacher should have a sandbox course. We call them a sandbox course because it's just that, it's a sandbox. There's no students, and you can play in the sand, build things, tear them down, just like you would in a sandbox. So you can't hurt anything in these sandbox courses because there's no students. No one will see them other than you. These 3 dots, which you can find in the upper right-hand corner of every course, you can change the color of the course. So if you don't like that it's blue, you can change it to orange. Whatever color you want. I'm going to go back to blue just because that's what I wanted. Or you can move them. So if you want Riley Sandbox to be the front, the first one, you can move it to the top. You can move it down. So 1 down. You can move them around. You can change their colors. That's there for you. I'm going to go over here for this. the little horn are your announcements. If you have a new announcement, it will have a number 1 next to it, or whatever, however many announcements you have. So you can see down here, it has a little notification to tell me that there's a new discussion post in that course. So the megaphone is announcements. The little piece of paper with a pencil are your assignments. The little bubbles are discussions. And the little file folder is your file. So with that, if you click on it, they will take you directly to those spots. So if I click on, let's say I click on assignments, it will take me directly to my assignments page within that course. So just little shortcuts for you. So that's this middle section with published courses and those little legends down there. And then your unpublished courses are down here as well. Next, over here. So again, unpublished courses, right? You must publish in order so people can see them. This to-do right sidebar. It lists what the teacher needs to complete. On the student side, it lists what the student needs to complete. So the positive here is that it shows all of the students' classes at once. So I have all of these to do, and they come from the same course. However, if I have multiple courses, this may come from math, this may come from English, this may come from science. So it shows the students everything they have to do and when it's due. So I know these say no due date, but they would show a due date if I had them. So this to-do list right now shows me that I need to grade all of these artifacts. And really, the DIS grade them, but they're there for me. So your to-do list would be there, things that you need to grade in all of your courses, or the students are the same way. The students have their to-do list. Next is your calendar. If there's an assignment coming up, it'll show here for you. I really like this part, especially for students, because it'll tell them like, hey, you have an essay coming up. Make sure you get that started. It's due soon. Or even for a teacher, if I would have like assigned a quiz and I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot they had a quiz. We should probably review that. It's there for me as well. There's also recent feedback that will show up here. This is really nice for your students because if you provide them a comment or feedback on an assignment, it'll automatically show up and let them know like, hey, I should check on my feedback. Maybe I didn't submit something correctly, or maybe I need to redo an assignment, which is nice. Also, it's nice for teachers because if a student comments back to you or provides you any feedback in terms of like, hey, I'm turning in this late assignment, or can you check what I did before moving forward? I had some trouble with question 3. That feedback will be there as well. These next 2 buttons allow you to start a new course. These new courses, you can technically create your own courses, right? Those courses that you manually create by using this Start a New Course button will not roster with PowerSchool and will not sync to the Power Teacher gradebook. So just make sure you know those key components. If you create your own 5th period class Canvas course, it will not automatically roster. You will have to add your students in, delete them, etc. And it will not sync to PowerSchool because there's a way on Canvas that your grades, you click the sync button and they just move right on over to your gradebook. So, but you are able to start new courses and design in there and things like that as well. And lastly, it's view grades. This will take you directly to gradebooks and show kind of your courses I'm taking, the grade I got in it, the courses I'm teaching, and the average grade. So as you can see, in my sandbox course with no students, kids are getting 100%. because I don't have students, and if I did, they did their assignments. So you can also see that in the start of school, the average was 100% for students who completed whatever was in there, probably a survey of some sort. So it shows you, and again, a lot of these are professional learning trainings, so the grades aren't necessary, but they're there. So that is your grades. And that is everything on the right-hand side of your page. All right. Technically, that's all I have. I told you bite-sized pieces, right? So because I don't want to bite off more than we can chew at a time, we're taking this slow and steady, right? So next week, we're going to talk about pages, which are the beginning to it all. It's where everything starts. However, I know it's only been 26 minutes, which is really what I wanted, right? Bite-sized. But if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them if you want to throw them in the chat. Any questions you have about Canvas at all, because we do have this time. I can also show you, this guy has to go back to where he was or else I'm going to be all kinds of messed up. Okay, there we go. I'm also happy to show you, I can go a little bit further to show you where more things are, like inside of a course. So you can start a new course by labeling the course name, and then you can change it to public or private domain, and that can create your course. Basics, just create a course name. If I am in my course, actually, we'll do it this way instead of doing it. We'll just create a Canvas Corner course so that everything is brand new. So Canvas Corner, create a course. And then this is what your course will look like, completely blank slate. Mr. Appleby, and I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, there is not a formal transition in place right now. One of our reasons for not making a formal transition is because our students are in our buildings in order to learn Canvas. It's difficult sometimes. Some teachers and some students have expressed it's difficult to learn, and parents as well, to learn a new LMS being outside of the building. So it is an option. We are providing the training because we think that Canvas is a great platform. We will always use Canvas not always. We will use Canvas for a lot of our, we'll use Canvas for our professional learning. So just how we have been with the courses and things like that. And our reasoning for that as well for the past year has been that you teachers are now seeing the student side of Canvas, right? So now when students do struggle, you can see, you're like, oh, I struggled with that too when I used Canvas for professional learning. So we've given, since August to now as a student. So now we're rolling out the teacher side of things so that you can learn and start experimenting and with Canvas before anything formal comes out. I don't know. I don't have a real answer for you, but I love Canvas. I've used it as a teacher. All of my years in the classroom was actually with Canvas. So I'm a firm believer. Yeah, that's yep. I would agree with that. You can focus on Google Classroom with your students, especially for this semester if you're already there, and start building in Canvas, start exploring, start creating, because then in August, if you like Canvas, and who knows if we'll be in person or not, you can start using Canvas, and everything's already there for you. So you're not moving things over on a day-to-day basis. You can just start creating, and going from there. I love Canvas. So this is your blank slate, right? This is your, yes, it is. I like it. Yes. Go ahead, Mr. Appleby. While he's typing that, this is your blank slate, right? To make any of these changes that you may want to make, you can go down here to settings at the very left, very bottom. This settings is different than the one in your account. So inside your course, all this is going to change. If you change these settings, are that one course that you're inside of. So you can change your image. What about PD, Mr. Appleby? You can change your image. You can upload one or look one up. We're gonna look up coffee because, oh, look at that, that's cute. Because I am notorious for having coffee with me like all the time. So that's, if I always choose coffee, that's why. You can change the name or the course code. You can change the time zone if you want. This SIS ID, that will determine if it's connected to Power Teacher or not. So if there's an SIS ID in there, that means it'll roster automatically and it can be added to the gradebook automatically. It can sync on over. There's nothing really anything else for you to change down here. I would leave all that the same. The language, you can just change a bunch of different stuff in here if you'd like. But if it gets you nervous, then don't change it, just so that we're not messing things up. If it doesn't let you change it, that's on purpose. The sections are here. One thing that we'll talk about later is cross-listing your sections so that you can use the ones that are automatically rostered, but you can make it all in one so that you're not posting and creating to all 3 different sections of your same English class. You can put them all into one class and create things once and post them once and grade them once and sync them to the gradebook once. So that is there. Navigation is up here. This stuff is not in the slide deck because I didn't think I would have this time, but I'll just show it to you and we'll go over it again later, I'm sure. Navigation is this left sidebar. You can, anything below this button, students will not see. So I don't need them to see grade sync. I don't need them to probably see outcomes. And again, we'll go over all of these. And then you can also move them up and down. So if I want the first thing for them to see are, announcements and then assignments and discussions, but maybe I want them to see syllabus first, I can just drag it up and down to where I want it. And then always make sure you click save so that it does its thing. So now on the left, you can see syllabus is up top and they cannot see grade sync anymore. It's not even on there. There's apps that you can add to it and feature options as well. So just things to explore. Okay, so the Wednesday PDs there are mandatory ones and optional ones. You must, from what I understand, and again, your administrator in your building will know more. But from what I understand is that you are supposed to do something district and something building level on Wednesdays. We do offer optional courses because a lot of our PD, like our mandatory PD right now, is literacy based, and especially at the elementary level. So with the initiative of literacy. So optional courses are here, like this Canvas one, or there's a lot of trainings right now going on with how to use your MacBook better. And I believe the minimum is supposed to be 1 district level 1 and 1 building level 1 on every Wednesday. That was from the memo that Mr. White sent out way back when we started all of this. And I'm not 100% sure about the state license, the documentation. I believe so, but since it's under contract hours, don't quote me on that because I don't necessarily know the rules to that. So that might be an administrator question. I'm sorry. I'm just here to present, and I do my best to know answers, but I try. I try. Any other questions regarding Canvas? I will not take up time that you can just use to explore. So I will put in the chat again the slideshow. And again, this can be found on YouTube. I do believe it takes a while to upload because it has to process and all that. And also just remember, you can click on these pins if I ran through something too quick or you wanted to revisit something. And then if you click on me in the upper right-hand corner, it takes you back to that map. So this next week, if you want to stick with the Canvas corner, kind of just go through this. Make sure you got site navigation, right? You know where everything is. You're good to go. And next week, we're going to talk pages. And pages are where it all happens. It's where it all begins. So. Oh, thank you, Mrs. Betts. I do my best. I love it. I just hope I do it justice. Have a great Wednesday. We are halfway through the week. And please reach out if you have any questions regarding Canvas. I am here to help. And so is the Canvas community. They are awesome. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.